Hello and welcome. My name is Stephan Poschik from CHC and you are listening to the CHC Expert Interview. Today I have a really interesting and very special guest. He has tremendous experience in international business areas. And hello and welcome, Stephan Horvath. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me today. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, and it's always good to have the chance to spread word about innovation and entrepreneurship. Just a few words about myself. I have about 20 years C-level experience in network agencies and consulting firms. I worked in 5 continents, more or less, and we served their clients. And I learned a lot by doing that. The importance of cross-culture competence, and learning means it was literally learning by doing, right? So I'm running today an investor relations marketing advisory firm. It's Ideations, and we're advising tech clients and tech funds in business and innovation strategies. And from my past experience, of course, we're trying to connect European companies with companies in the Middle East and Asia, but also vice versa. Asian companies helping to onboard here in Europe, yeah, to find the right pathway in Europe. Previously, I worked as a CEO and president of IPG Digital and Media Services. So I'm coming out of the marketing and advertising area, and I still have the roots there. When I'm saying we're doing investor relations and marketing, is nothing else than what you do before. Before, you try to tell a vision, how great the job of the agency is that you can do. And now we're looking at the projects, we're looking at something that has really meaningful things, and then we tell a story. It's about storytelling, it's about framing, it's about building the narrative, and then finally make it sure that it matches the numbers. Because there's so many people out telling a story, and when they pitch as an entrepreneur, as an innovation, you will find out, ooh, there was a lot of hot air, or hey, that doesn't really back what you say, or is that business model really valuable, right? So, and all these questions you can ask before, you can match these stories. And we're doing that with the finance guys. They're helping us to look into real companies today, how they buy companies in the future and why they bought them and what was the trigger for them to buy them, and then help the clients to adjust a bit, yeah, their story and their business model according what the market really wants. Because for an entrepreneur, at least to my experience, the biggest gap is sometimes to give up a little bit of your dream to make the big dream you have real, right? So to adjust to reality, right? And I think that is what we probably help and support, and cross-culture. And it's really a pleasure to work with that. For me, because you asked before about COVID and how was COVID doing the impact. COVID for us was literally a hard stop. Yeah, so we were crashing against the wall, because at the beginning, all this business is based on personal relationships, on travel, on meeting people. Because if you know, in the innovation and entrepreneurial area, it is so important that you can exchange with people, that you have the direct contact, that you have this kind of feeling, or the hand on the pulse, that you can really feel the heartbeat, yeah, and get the passion from these people. And when the travel stopped, it was really for a few months quite a shock. And luckily, everybody now is readjusted to digital, is readjusted now to Zoom calls like we do now, or to mention Microsoft, the Teams, and all these other wonderful technologies. Yeah. They're out there, right? But people get used to it. Yeah. And to be honest, as an entrepreneur, yeah, when do you had in the past ever the chance to meet a guy, a leader from a fund, from a big fund, and meet him at home in his living room? Yeah, maybe when the kids are playing around. I had this in a few times on occasion, and believe me, it helps you to build the most important thing ever. It helps you to build relationships. They are digital at the moment, and hopefully in the future, as it looks like, we will be able to connect directly. But whatever it is not about the hashtag, it's about the relationship.
That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. And that's so true, Stephan. I totally relate to this, because this is exactly what I experienced during the last 2 years. So, so many great connections appeared, and it is normal in the meantime that it is possible to really reach out to somebody, doing a Zoom meeting, just getting in a contact, getting in a meeting. And it's so much easier in most situations, because you don't have to hop on an airplane, fly around the world. And by the way, it's also better for the environment when we don't have to travel so much, in my opinion. And for example, we are sitting here, and at the time of recording, I'm sitting in Italy, in Sardinia. I think you are in Germany right now at the moment.
That's correct. I'm in Germany.
Yeah. And my company is based in Austria, and the other companies are based in the US, in Florida. So these international opportunities which occurred here, or which are possible due to this remote work or also hybrid work, this is tremendous. And so this already brings me, or nearly answered our first question we wanted to discuss. So the changes for entrepreneurs in the last 2 years, what else changed in your opinion for entrepreneurs?
I think entrepreneurs in the past looked more like on the, they were a little bit more on the fast track. Yeah. When it comes to, you have really the cool things. And even when we talked about AI in the past, and we do a lot of this technology, yeah, you're on the fast track. You want to develop something that is a self-driving car, that is mobility, that is flying to the Mars, right? No, whatever it is, yeah, it was always with thinking big. With COVID, we had the chance to go into ourselves, to think, to reflect, yeah. We probably, and also the European Union, if you look at that, and also other countries around the world, giving more to the climate change. Yeah. And with COVID on top, it gives you even more a drive, how important it is to care not only about the environment, but also about humans, humanity, about food, about health, and all this stuff. Yeah. Because all that goes together. And what I believe, or for me, is a feeling, a lot more entrepreneurs coming up with small ideas, how to make the world a better place, how to save a little bit here and save a little bit there. And that means not about the heavy engines and a lot of battery factories, what the US giants are building everywhere, right? So it's more about having small ideas that make the life of some people better, right? And what I found myself also in this kind of shoes. So you were looking now for projects who are really doing something good, yeah? Because you had the time to reflect, you had the time to really think about what is important or not. And for example, I have two companies in my mind. One was at the beginning of COVID, when I stumbled across them. It's an Austrian company. They're in water. They're in water business. And really, believe me, I was never thinking about water in depth before. Yeah, and how important it is, and with water drought and what you can save there all this time. Yeah, with COVID, you have a lot of time to think about this and see how that can be an impact. Yeah, for the people, right? And you learn then about that. And the other stuff, which is also not really about my core competence, is more in tech. The other was, I came across a company, by the way, through tech, yeah, and they developed a set of bacteria, and they developed also the nutrition around that. And what they're doing is they're using that to feed this small bacteria, and this bacteria is building a kind of adhesive. So that helps them to build concrete out of waste, out of gravel. Instead of putting the old houses into landfill and spend new on sand or whatever, they have now a technology, because these small, let's say, bacteria, they work like corals. Like a coral builds a coral reef. They don't build the reef, but they build the kit, the material that connects sand, for example, or gravel, or whatever wood. So they build out of waste new building blocks. Yeah, by the way, extremely stable building blocks, because it depends on how good you feed them. Right? So I really learned it depends on what you give them to eat, yeah, and how long you feed them, how strong the block will be at the end of the day. Yeah, and for me it was a huge learning curve. Yeah, how you can really do something good for the environment. And by the way, I found it cool with the bacteria, but at the end, I learned something that is even more important. I think you and me, we all know there's a kind of sand shortage when it comes to building new towers, right? To building new bridges. And that is because the sand has to have a certain kind of specification. It couldn't be round like the beautiful sand that we all have at some of the beaches or when we walk through the desert. Yeah, it is more like this corners. And you don't need the sand out of corners, because the bacteria, yeah, they build for you the corals. They build for you the structure. So you can even go with sand, which you find plenty in the desert, and that will help tremendously, I believe. Yeah, the preservation of beaches. Yeah, where you have where otherwise you steal, not steal, but you harvest the sand for building. Yeah, instead of leaving the sand there for the people and for the animals and for nature.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool examples. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So the future and what is changing. Yeah. So this brings me directly to the next question, and also to the topic from the CHC summit we are going to run in a couple of days. So the future of entrepreneurship. Will we see more examples like this, or where do you see the future for entrepreneurship?
I think the future for entrepreneurship gives a lot of runway for young entrepreneurs. Yeah, and the future, how I see it, is a mixture, bringing entrepreneurs from universities, I mean more the scientists, yeah, together with entrepreneurs who are business driven, right? And as we learned, they don't have to be at one place. Yeah, they can be at different places. They can do the development of whatever they do in a country far, far away. But then you need the others who apply exactly that at the places where it's needed. Yeah, so I believe it could be a network out of young entrepreneurs, of innovative people, of also existing business structures who help them to grow, yeah, or to apply that ideas to the ground, right? Because that is what you will need at the end anyway, to make it happen, to ignite, yeah. But the ignition, yeah, that comes from people, and they need more forums where they have the chance to discuss. Like, for example, forums like the World Young Scientists Summit, or events like this, yeah, where people really have the chance to exchange themselves and to discuss. Yeah, and by the way, out of exchange, out of discussing, out of a kind of more like a scientific or business networking in these groups, yeah, I'm sure we will see a lot more good and compelling suggestions and projects, and maybe also companies in the future.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. This is exactly what I experienced. For example, I founded a new tech startup last year in summer, and our team is 100% remote. We have 28 people in our team in the meantime, and we have software developers and experts in India. We have 2 of our CEOs and co-founders are located in Austria, and the rest of our team is spread all over North America, and everybody is working remote. and we have very specialized people for all our different roles in this company. And most of the people never ever met in person till now. We definitely will do this in the future, because when we already have some kind of growth and traction and also the opportunities, we will have get-togethers where everybody is in the same spot at the same time. But to start a company, to make it successful, to launch something new, it is so much easier and so much more convenient, and also not so expensive, because we didn't have to rent a big office space. We don't have to have just the talents in this area. So we have international talents, and this is awesome to work together with them. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and you save a lot of money and also CO2 footprint in travel.
Of course, definitely. So what else are the opportunities for entrepreneurs in the future? Where do you see the biggest opportunities in the future?
I see the biggest opportunities in everything that is related to climate change, in everything that is related to food and agriculture, because I really believe, even with the crisis we have now in Ukraine, we will see in North Africa a strong demand for that in the future. And it brings things to our attention, yeah, where we really have to, I think, to follow up. I don't think it will be so much looking for the next Google. It won't be so much looking for the next big tech giant that has a cool social platform, because Elon Musk bought it already. But it will be more for, I really think, good things that connect and that are more down to earth. Mm-hmm. And that is something where also European Union will put a lot of money and support European entrepreneurs. Yeah, they should, I can only give a recommendation, yeah, look at the projects that get funded by the European Union. Yeah, and if you feel you're eligible and you have something to tell, it's always worth to sit down and to work 1 or 2 or 3 weeks on an application and to submit. There's no chance you guarantee, but it will definitely make your project better. Yeah. And finally, it is not bad to ask for this type of money, because it will be placed for, yeah, the Green Deal, for the good things, and hopefully in the future also for a Blue Deal economy. Yeah, because today we all talk about the green, the CO2 footprint. Yeah, but it will be dramatically, yeah, when we're looking at water and water shortages in the future, also here in Europe. This is not something that is far away and only in Galicia or in Spain. Yeah, that can be tomorrow in Bavaria too.
Yeah, definitely.
And by the way, because you said you're from Austria, let me just make one thing as a comment at the end. I really love to work with 2 Austrian entities. The one is the WKÖ, yeah, and the other is ABBA. Yeah, I have a call on Friday with ABBA in Asia. Yeah, and they're really very helpful, very skilled, and I wish sometimes we here in Germany would learn from the WKÖ and from ABBA how you do it really well to promote your companies abroad, because the Austrians are doing a great job on that.
Thank you. I definitely agree. I also work a lot with the people in the US from the Außenhandel, and they supported us tremendously when we launched our first company in the US 3 years ago in the meantime. So they are really super experienced and super helpful. So definitely they are awesome. Stephan, thank you so much. We could go on and on. I have so much more questions, but I will save these questions for next week for our big event. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, if somebody wants to connect with you, what's the best way to reach out to you? Where can they find you?
I think the best way in today's world to reach out on business, at least here in the Western Hemisphere, that is LinkedIn. Yeah. So because you can go there, look at my profile, Stephan Horvath. Yeah, and then you find all you want to know. you find probably more than you think, or maybe you have some open questions, just feel free to connect. We'd love to do that. Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We will definitely tag you in the interview when we launch it. And you will find it around this interview. And so you definitely can reach out to Stephan directly. So thanks again for your time. I really appreciate your time. And we are seeing us in a couple of days. And then we are going to do a live session.
Looking forward.
Of course. Yeah. So thanks again. And to all of you listeners, we wish you a lot of success and a great health. See you soon and take care. Thank you.
See you soon. Thank you. Bye.